Picture this. It's 2026. The world is colder, faster, and more merciless than ever before. The old rules, the ones you were taught in school, whispered by well-meaning parents, preached by smiling gurus, are dead. Kindness is currency, but it's rapidly devaluing. The gentle are trampled, the naive are devoured, and the world, indifferent and hungry, moves on. You feel it, don't you? That gnawing anxiety in your chest, the sense that you're falling behind, that you're invisible in a world obsessed with power and spectacle. You watch as others less talented, less moral, less deserving climb higher, seize more, and leave you in the dust. You wonder, what do they know that I don't? What are they willing to do that I'm not? Here's the truth no one dares to say out loud. Fortune does not favor the kind. It does not reward the patient, the honest, or the fair. Fortune favors the ruthless. The world is a chessboard, and only those who play with cold calculation, who are willing to break the rules and rewrite them in their own image, ever truly win. This is not a message for everyone. Most will turn away, clinging to comforting lies about karma, about justice, about the universe rewarding the good. But you, if you're still here, if you're still listening, you sense the truth. You know that the game is rigged, and you're tired of being a pawn dot in the shadows of history. The powerful have always known secrets the masses were never meant to hear. Machiavelli wrote them down centuries ago in words that still echo through the halls of power. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. The elite have always lived by laws the rest of us are too afraid to even name. But what if you could learn those laws? What if you could wield the same forbidden knowledge that kings, CEOs, and shadowy puppet masters have used for centuries to bend the world to their will? What if, in 2026, you could stop being prey and become a predator? This is your invitation. Over the next few minutes, I will reveal 3 Machiavellian laws that will decide who dominates and who is dominated in the year ahead. These are not gentle truths. They are not for the faint of heart. But if you have the courage to listen, to learn, and to act, you will never see the world the same way again. Because in the age of ruthlessness, only those who embrace the darkness within themselves will survive and thrive. The rest, they will be forgotten footnotes in someone else's story. So ask yourself, are you ready to see the world as it truly is? Are you ready to claim the power that's been denied to you? Or will you be left behind, powerless and invisible, as the ruthless carve up the future? The choice is yours. And time is running out. From the moment you could walk, you are told a story as old as civilization itself. Play fair, they said. Work hard, be honest, and good things will come. It's a comforting myth, a lullaby for the powerless. But in the real world, fairness is a mask the powerful wear to keep you docile, obedient, and blind to the game being played around you. Look closer. The world is not a meritocracy. The best do not always rise. The hardest workers are not always rewarded. The most honest are not always trusted. Instead, the cunning, the adaptable, and the ruthless climb, while the rest are left wondering what went wrong. Consider the corporate world. How many times have you seen the loyal employee, the one who stays late, who never complains, who follows every rule passed over for promotion? Meanwhile, the office politician, the one who flatters the boss and takes credit for others' work, ascends the ladder with a smile. The lesson is clear. The game is not about merit, but manipulation. Or look at politics. History is littered with the corpses of idealists who believed in the rules, who thought the system would reward their virtue. They are outmaneuvered, betrayed, and forgotten by those who understand that power is not given, it is taken. Political coups, backroom deals, and betrayals are not exceptions. They are the rule. The world's most powerful, are not the most deserving, but the most relentless. Even in social circles, the same pattern repeats. The nice guy or nice girl is overlooked, friend-zoned, or used as a stepping stone. Meanwhile, the charismatic manipulator, the one who knows how to bend perception and play on desire, becomes the center of attention. The lesson? Playing nice is a strategy for those content to lose. These are not isolated incidents. They are the architecture of the world you live in. The myth of fairness is a cage, and every time you cling to it, you tighten the bars around yourself. The system is designed to reward those who see through the illusion, who are willing to do what others won't. But why does this myth persist? Because it's useful. The powerful need you to believe in fairness, so you'll keep playing by rules that don't apply to them. They need you to be predictable, to wait your turn, to accept your place. It's a rigged game, and the only way to win is to stop pretending the rules are real. This is why most will fail. They will cling to the comfort of the lie, hoping that if they just work a little harder, if they're just a little nicer, their time will come. But time is merciless, and the world does not wait for the meek. If you want to survive, if you want to dominate, you must let go of the myth. You must see the world as it is, a battlefield, not a playground. The winners are not the most deserving, but the most daring. The ones who are willing to break the rules, to rewrite them, to play a different game entirely. This is the urgent need for a new Coda Ruthless Code. One that does not apologize for ambition, that does not flinch from hard truths, that does not wait for permission. The world of 2026 will not reward the fair. It will reward the fearless dot. So ask yourself, are you ready to abandon the comforting lie? Are you ready to see the world as it truly is and to play the game to win? Because those who cling to fairness will be left behind, crushed, forgotten, and wondering why fortune never smiled on them. The time for illusions is over. The age of ruthlessness has begun. There is a law that the powerful whisper behind closed doors, a law that separates the rulers from the ruled. Strategic cruelty. It is not mindless violence or sadism. It is the cold, calculated willingness to do what must be done, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how many bridges must be burned. In a world that rewards the bold and punishes the hesitant, cruelty, when wielded with precision, is not a vice. It is a weapon. Most people recoil at the word cruelty. They imagine tyrants, bullies, or monsters. But the truth is more subtle and more dangerous. Strategic cruelty is not about inflicting pain for pleasure. It is about making hard decisions without flinching. It is about cutting ties with the weak, firing the incompetent, ending relationships that drain you, and eliminating threats before they grow. It is the art of the necessary sacrifice. History is littered with those who understood this law and those who paid the price for ignoring it. Consider Steve Jobs. Revered as a visionary, feared as a leader, Jobs was infamous for his brutal honesty and willingness to cut anyone who stood in the way of his vision. He fired friends, humiliated employees, and made decisions that seemed heartless to outsiders. But it was this very ruthlessness that forged Apple into a global empire. Jobs understood that sentimentality is the enemy of greatness. He was not cruel for cruelty's sake, but for the sake of the mission. The world remembers the iPhone, not the feelings of those left behind. Or look further back to Catherine de' Medici. In the treacherous courts of Renaissance France, she survived and thrived by mastering the art of strategic cruelty. Surrounded by enemies, she orchestrated alliances, betrayals, and even assassinations to protect her family's power. Her legacy is stained with blood, but her dynasty endured while others vanished. In a world of wolves, she refused to be a lamb. Why does this law work? Because the world, beneath its polite surface, is a jungle. People respect strength even if they pretend otherwise. They are drawn to those who can make the hard call, who do not hesitate when the moment demands action. Hesitation is fatal. The one who hesitates is the one who is devoured. Psychologically, this is rooted in our evolutionary wiring. In every tribe, the leader was the one who could make the hard decisions, who could banish the traitor, punish the thief, or lead the hunt. Compassion has its place, but in moments of crisis, it is the ruthless who survive. The group looks to the strong, the decisive, the unflinching. The rest are forgotten. But here is the paradox. The world secretly respects the ruthless, even as it publicly condemns them. People may call you cold, heartless, or cruel, but they will also follow you, fear you, and most importantly, never underestimate you. The powerful do not apologize for their strength. They do not seek approval. They act, and the world adapts. Strategic cruelty is not about being a monster. It is about being willing to do what others cannot. It is about understanding that mercy, when misplaced, is a form of weakness. If you cannot fire the underperformer, your business will rot. If you cannot end a toxic relationship, your energy will be drained. If you cannot confront a threat, you will be destroyed by it. The elite wield cruelty as a tool, not a habit. They do not lash out in anger or act from ego. They act with purpose, with calculation, with an eye on the bigger picture. Every cut is surgical. Every decision is weighed. Every sacrifice is made for a reason. But most people will never embrace this law. They will hesitate, hoping things will get better on their own. They will cling to the comfort of the familiar, even as it drags them down. They will avoid conflict, hoping to be liked, hoping to be spared. But the world does not spare the weak. It devours them. If you want to dominate in 2026, you must master the art of strategic cruelty. You must be willing to do what others will not. You must cut away the dead weight, confront the uncomfortable truths, and act without mercy when the moment demands it. This is not about becoming a villain. It is about becoming a master of your fate. Ask yourself, where have you hesitated? Where have you allowed weakness, sentimentality, or fear to dictate your actions? What would your life look like if you acted with ruthless clarity? If you made the hard decisions without apology? The world is watching. The weak will be trampled. The ruthless will rise. This is the first law of power and the first step on the path to domination. Embrace it or be left behind. If strategic cruelty is the blade, then perception is the cloak. The second Machiavellian law is as old as power itself. Perception is reality. In the theater of dominance, it is not what is true that matters, but what is believed. The powerful have always known this. They do not simply act. They shape the story, control the spotlight, and bend the narrative until the world sees what they want it to see. Machiavelli himself wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel." The lesson is simple. The masses are moved not by facts, but by appearances. The world is a stage, and those who master illusion become its directors. Look around you. In the age of information, truth is more fragile than ever. A single rumor can destroy a reputation. A well-timed photo, a viral tweet, a carefully edited video, these are the new weapons of war. The battlefield is not the boardroom or the street, but the mind. And the victors are those who can manipulate perception with surgical precision. Consider the art of misdirection. Magicians have used it for centuries. Distract the eye, and the hand is free to work its magic. The same principle governs politics, business, and even personal relationships. When a scandal erupts, the skilled operator does not fight the facts. They redirect attention, create a new controversy, or flood the zone with noise until the truth is lost in the chaos. The public, overwhelmed and distracted, moves on. Modern PR warfare is built on this law. Corporations spend billions not to improve their products, but to shape how they are seen. A company caught polluting the environment launches a green campaign. A celebrity caught in scandal donates to charity and posts a tearful apology. The truth is irrelevant. What matters is the story that survives. Fortunes are made and lost not by what is, but by what is believed. History is littered with masters of perception. Napoleon Bonaparte understood that his legend was as important as his army. He commissioned paintings of victories, censored news, of defeats, and crafted an image of invincibility. His enemies feared him as much for his myth as for his cannons. In the end, it was the collapse of his image more than his armies that led to his downfall. In the modern era, perception is currency. Tech CEOs cultivate the image of visionary geniuses, even as their companies are built on the backs of others. Politicians stage photo ops, craft slogans, and spin every failure as a hidden victory. Social media influencers curate every post, every angle, every word, until their lives are more fiction than fact. The audience applauds, envies, and obeys, never realizing they are watching a carefully constructed illusion. But why does this law work? Because the human mind is wired for stories, not facts. We crave meaning, coherence, and certainty. When reality is complex or uncomfortable, we reach for the narrative that feels right, not the one that is true. The powerful exploit this flaw, feeding us the stories we want to believe and hiding the truths we cannot bear. Those who fail to master perception are forever at the mercy of those who do. The honest, the transparent, the authentic, they are chewed up and spat out by a world that rewards the artful liar. They wonder why their good deeds go unnoticed, why their hard work is ignored, why their truth is drowned out by louder, more seductive voices. They do not realize that in the game of power, reality is a distant second to perception. But this law is not just for the elite. You too can weaponize perception. You can control your narrative, shape how others see you, and use deception not as a tool for evil, but as a shield against those who would use it against you. This does not mean living a lie. It means understanding that the world is not fair and that those who refuse to play the game are destined to lose. Here's how you begin. Curate your image. Decide how you want to be seen and act accordingly. Dress, speak, and move with intention. Control your story. When you make a mistake, own it, but spin it as a lesson, a pivot, a necessary step on your path to greatness. Use misdirection. When under attack, redirect attention. Flood the zone with new information, or create a distraction that serves your interests. Never reveal your full hand. Keep your true intentions hidden. Let others underestimate you or fear you as the situation demands. Remember, the world is not moved by truth, but by belief. Those who master perception become invisible when they wish and unforgettable when they choose. Those who do not are doomed to be pawns in someone else's story. In 2026, the war for attention, influence, and power will be won not by the honest, but by the cunning. The question is not whether you will play the game, but whether you will play to win. Choose wisely. The world is watching, and the shadows are full of eyes. There is a final law that the powerful never speak aloud, a law that is both shield and sword in the age of betrayal. Ruthless self-reliance. In 2026, alliances are fleeting. Loyalty is a currency easily spent, and the only person you can truly trust is the one staring back at you in the mirror. The world will tempt you with promises of partnership, community, and support, but history is a graveyard of those who depended on others and were left to rot. Depend on others, and you will be betrayed. Stand alone, and you will be unbreakable. This is not cynicism. It is survival. The world is shifting faster than ever. Companies lay off thousands with a single email. Friends become competitors overnight. Lovers turn cold when fortunes change. The rules of yesterday are ashes today. If you build your life on the shifting sands of other people's approval, resources, or protection, you will be swept away by. The first storm got the elite know this. They cultivate a self-reliance so absolute it borders on the mythic. They are their own source of power emotionally, financially, and strategically. They do not beg for validation, wait for rescue, or hope for a savior. They build fortresses within themselves, and from those fortresses they conquer. Emotionally, ruthless self-reliance means mastering your own mind. The world will try to break you with rejection, criticism, and loss. Most people crumble, seeking comfort from others, desperate for reassurance. But the self-reliant turn inward. They become their own source of validation. They learn to sit with discomfort, to process pain, to transform wounds into wisdom. They do not need applause to know their worth. They do not need forgiveness to move forward. They are whole, even when alone. Financially, self-reliance is the difference between freedom and slavery. In 2026, the safety nets are full of holes. The job you thought was secure can vanish in a heartbeat. The partner you relied on can disappear. The government can change the rules overnight. The self-reliant build multiple streams of income. They learn to invest, to save, to create value that cannot be taken away. They do not wait for a raise. They create their own opportunities. They do not fear scarcity. They prepare for it. Strategically, ruthless self-reliance means never putting your fate in another's hands. The self-reliant do not reveal all their plans. They do not make themselves indispensable to others. They make others indispensable to them. They cultivate skills that are rare and valuable. They build networks, but never become dependent on them. They are always ready to walk away, to start over, to rebuild from nothing if they must. But how do you build this unshakable independence? Here are the steps the powerful take steps you can begin today. Audit your dependencies. Make a ruthless list of where you rely on others, emotionally, financially, logistically. Who or what could destroy you if they vanished tomorrow? Identify your weak points. These are your vulnerabilities. Develop core skills. Invest in skills that make you valuable and self-sufficient. Learn to negotiate, to sell, to create, to lead. The more you can do for yourself, the less you can be controlled. Build financial moats. Start with an emergency fund. Then create multiple streams of income side hustles, investments, intellectual property. The goal is simple. Never let one person or company hold your future in their hands. Master emotional alchemy. Practice solitude. Learn to process your own emotions without needing validation or comfort from others. Meditate, journal, train your mind to be your own sanctuary. Set boundaries like steel. The self-reliant are not afraid to say no. They do not overextend, overcommit, or overexpose themselves. They protect their time, energy, and resources with ruthless discipline. Prepare for betrayal. Assume that every alliance is temporary. Trust, but verify. Keep your options open. Never let loyalty blind you to reality. Celebrate solitude. Learn to enjoy your own company. The world will try to convince you that being alone is a weakness. In truth, it is the ultimate strength. When you are content alone, you are immune to manipulation. The FOMO is real. Those who fail to cultivate ruthless self-reliance will be the first to fall when the world shifts. They will be left begging for help, wondering why no one comes. But those who stand alone will be unbreakable, untouchable, and unstoppable. This is not a call to isolation, but to sovereignty. Build alliances, but never depend on them. Love deeply, but never lose yourself. Trust, But always be ready to walk away, God, in 2026. The world will belong to those who are their own source of power. The rest will be swept away by the tides of change, forever at the mercy of others. Ask yourself, if everyone and everything you depend on vanished tomorrow, would you survive? Would you thrive? Or would you crumble? The time to build your fortress is now. Ruthless self-reliance is not just a law, it is your only guarantee of freedom in a world that owes you nothing. Choose to be unbreakable. The world will not wait. Every power comes with a price. The Machiavellian laws you've learned are not toys. They are double-edged swords, sharp enough to cut through the illusions of the world, but just as capable of wounding the hand that wields them. To embrace ruthlessness, to weaponize perception, to stand alone, these are not paths for the faint of heart. They demand sacrifice, and the cost is often paid in shadows. Isolation is the first price. When you cut ties without hesitation, when you refuse to depend on others, you may find yourself standing alone atop your hard-won mountain. The world will call you cold, unreachable, even monstrous. The warmth of easy friendship, the comfort of blind trust, these may become distant. Memories, the higher you climb, the thinner the air, and the fewer the companions. Paranoia is the second price. When you see through every mask, when you know that alliances are fleeting and loyalties for sale, it becomes easy to trust no one. You may begin to see threats in every shadow, betrayal in every smile. The mind, sharpened for survival, can become a prison of suspicion. And then there is the greatest danger, becoming the very monster you once feared. Ruthlessness, unchecked by wisdom, can rot into cruelty for its own sake. The art of deception can become a web you cannot escape. Self-reliance can harden into a fortress so impenetrable that even you cannot leave. Power without purpose corrupts. This is why the darkly awakened must live by a code. Use ruthlessness as a shield, not a weapon of mindless destruction. Cut only when necessary. Deceive only when survival demands it. Stand alone, but do not forget your humanity. Let your power serve a purpose greater than ego or greed. Remember, the world is full of those who lost themselves in the pursuit of dominance. Their names are whispered with fear, not respect. True mastery is not just about winning. It is about surviving with your soul intact. Wield these laws with wisdom. Let them be your armor, not your curse. The path is dark, but it is yours to walk. Choose not just to dominate, but to endure and to remain human, even in the shadows. Imagine yourself as you once were, a pawn on the board, moved by unseen hands, waiting for permission, hoping for fairness. You watched as others claimed what you wanted, as opportunities slipped through your fingers, as your voice was drowned out by the roar of the ruthless. You felt invisible, powerless, and small, a prey animal in a world of predators. But now the mask has fallen. You see the world for what it is, a battlefield, not a playground. You have learned the laws that the powerful keep hidden. You have shed the illusions of fairness, mastered the art of strategic cruelty, weaponized perception, and built a fortress of self-reliance. You are no longer waiting for fortune to find you. You are hunting it down. The timid will be trampled in 2026. The world will not pause for the gentle or the hesitant. It will reward those who act, who adapt, who are willing to do what others will not. The prey will be left behind, wondering why the world changed and left them powerless. But you will be the master of your fate, the architect of your destiny. This is your transformation, from invisible to unforgettable, from pawn to player, from prey to predator. The world is yours to seize if you have the courage to claim it. The laws you have learned are not just tools, they are keys to a new existence. Step forward. The age of ruthlessness has begun. The only question that remains is, will you dominate or be dominated? The choice is yours, and the time is now. You have seen the world as it truly is. You have tasted the forbidden knowledge that separates the rulers from the ruled. Now, the moment of choice stands before you, a threshold few dare to cross. This is your invitation to step into the circle of the ruthless few, the ones who refuse to be dominated, the ones who do not beg for scraps, but carve their own destiny from the bones of the old world. If you have felt the fire awaken inside you, if you are ready to claim your place among the predators, then mark this moment. Subscribe now, not as a passive observer, but as a declaration of intent. This is your first act of power, your first step into the shadows where the strong are forged. Comment below, I choose power. Let the world see your initiation. Let the timid and the weak scroll past, while you carve your name into the stone of the future. Share this video with those who are ready to awaken, and watch as the circle grows. The world is full of prey, but only a few will ever become predators. Only a few will ever seize fortune by the throat and bend it to their will. Remember, fortune favors the ruthless. The world of 2026 will not wait for you to decide. The time to choose is now. Will you remain a pawn, or will you join the ranks of those who refuse to be controlled? Step forward. Claim your power. Join the ruthless few and let the world tremble at your awakening.